So the other interesting thing that we run into is this sort of this calls problem, right? So if you're running one rule at a time or two rules at a time, it's not that big of a deal. You have limited number of calls to a page to fetch the data, run across the rules engine, and boom, you get results. But when you're running multiple rules at a time, which of course WCAG gets what, 70, 75, 80 rules, not all of them need AI, but when you're running multiple AI rules at a time, it eats up your call sort of capacity, and that can block the delivery of results as well. So, Naya, did you have any? Oh, let me introduce my team first of all. So on the call, I believe we have our product manager, Naya Zhanghao. She is joining us, and she has been overseeing our team developing this for the last roughly 2 years. And I believe we have our senior level developer, Himanshu Garg, also on the call. And so, Naya, if you'd like to introduce yourself and go ahead and chime in anytime about the sort of issues that you've seen as we've started to develop this tool and stuff that our team is working on.
Sure. So first of all, good morning everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm really excited to present to you the power of AI that we have used for auditing the websites, and also share how we have leveraged AI to address some of the auditing issues. Now, I have also created a small presentation so that I can keep you on track and also tell you and show you how we have used this AI power to analyze the information which is present on the website. So, there are many VUCA books which requires semantic understanding of the content, and we have to understand the content which is present on the website. Traditionally, everything, all of these things are done manually. Auditor will come on the website, they'll audit, read the content, and then try to understand, and then will tell us about the failure.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, okay. But here we have tried to use AI and to reduce this manual intervention. This this is our POC of browser extension. To get most of the content from the browser, we have implemented it in this format, and this is our alpha version. So let us just deep dive into it. So before proceeding, let me just give you a small philosophy behind developing or opting for this model is that we need simplification automation. We know how much manual effort still we have to put into auditing website. And to reduce that, we are trying to use AI and try to understand the context, try to understand the content as much as we can with the help of AI, and then try to give results based on that. We have also tried to implement it in 1 or 2 languages to start with and to see how it is affecting our results.
So that's something really cool that I didn't mention that we've also done with AI. So we can localize the language of this tool with the use of AI, right? So one of the big issues with accessibility around the world is that it's very Western based, right? It's very Western oriented in terms of the characters of the language, in terms of the terminology and stuff like this. Translating it into say Hindi or Portuguese is a big problem. How many tools out there are available in Hindi? One of the biggest outsourcing languages we have in tech, right? India is a huge outsourcer of technology services, yet we have almost no accessibility tools available to them in their native language to help them, understand these results. And not that they couldn't understand them in English, but we all know that when you try to translate things over into other languages, you lose context very easily. So one of the biggest things that we tried to do is leverage AI to automatically localize the delivery, the output and input of this tool. And not only can it do it for the user getting the results and testing or whatever, but we can also use AI to test multiple languages on a page at the exact same time. Anyway, please continue next.
Yes. So one of the rule which we initially, and that was our first rule which we implemented with AI, was the abbreviation. And when we saw the result, all of us were very excited to see that it was working. So let me just, all these are theoretical thing. Let me just directly dive into the presentation of AI and show you how it is detecting abbreviation. So first, as it is an extension, I'll try to load the extension and I'll click on the tab.
Okay, so let's pause right here. This is our tool. It is named Auditor. It's a play on words with the word otter and the word auditor. So it's an audit tool. And it's we've got a logo image of a blue and tan otter using a laptop on its belly. And we figured having a mascot wouldn't hurt. So it's our tool. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to design this so that it's point of use. Okay, only the exact information and features you need at the time that you need it will be available to the user and presented in the user interface to lower, cognitive load, to cut down on fatigue, make things easier to understand, to lean, streamline. So we've tried to make it, engaging and very concise. Please, Nick.
Yes, of course, when we have Morse code, we can connect to that thing immediately and we feel someone is helping us throughout the process. So we have Otter with us. So let me just sign in into this system. I'm selecting advanced AI rules, which will help us to analyze all the rules. And I have started that audit. So depending on the size of the website, the content present in the website, all the contents will be broken down into chunks and then they'll send it to the AI model to analyze and to get the results back. Now in this, I have specifically added examples for abbreviation in different languages. I have received the results. Abbreviations are coming under AAA. I have selected. And now I'll just select the abbreviation and I'll see the result.
So let's talk about the screen. Sorry, but let's talk about the screen. So you run your test, and what happens is we have an audit results screen that pops up. And on the left-hand side, we've got the number of issues that are found. You can select it by the name of the issue, right? The top left-hand side of the header content block, we've got the total number of issues in a sort of pie chart. We've got issues broken down, the number by level, by success criteria, by ACAT version. So we get multiple sorting options in a way that's clean and concise on the left-hand side and all over this page. Then on the right-hand side, it tells you the success criteria number, which can also sort by. It gives you the name of the issue that has been found or issues that have been found and the exact chunk of code where that issue is found. You don't do anything on this screen other than see what issues have been found on your site, right? If you want to go ahead and work on those issues, you click the Fix Me button, which takes you to another screen that will allow you to remediate that code in line right there and test it again to see if it passes. So again, point of use, try to make it clean, concise, and easy to manage with low cognitive load. So go ahead and please finish describing the screen.
Yeah. So as you can see, the sentence present in the website, it has WHO and USA both as in the abbreviation format. So who is we have highlighted, the AI is also detecting that who is not expanded in the sentence, whereas USA, United States of America, is expanded. So both these things we have highlighted in the results, stating the actual result present in the website. This is one of the example. Another example is this: my resistant ambush protested. And let me show something in different language now.
And I think it looks beautiful. I'm sorry, but I love this design. I'm very happy with what we're doing.
So I'm not sure. I think this is French. So TDM is one of the abbreviation which is present in French, and this is the expanded format of it. So this is how our abbreviation is working right now. We have tested it on couple of live sites, but as David has already mentioned, some of the time it stops in between because of the lot of data and number of requests and number of tokens are failing. Hopefully we will have solution, but yes, it is working. If we try to break down the larger content into smaller one, it works fine.
Yeah, so this is an alpha version, so we're working through all of that. We will have a beta version by what month are we in? By the end of October. Yeah, so we will have a beta version release of this by the end of October, and we will have all this stuff sorted out. Right now, we're playing with things, breaking things, seeing how they work, if we like them, and then, fixing this.
Right. So this is about one of the rule. Now let me try to take you to another rule where we have tried to insert some of the idioms where we have tried to insert in different languages, and let us see how it works. Again, I'm starting Auditor extension. I'll open it. I'll sign it into, and I'll run the audit. Again, depending on the size of the data that we have, it will take time. To save time, we have tried to reduce the size of the data that we are reduce the size of the data in the example HTML files. And here it is telling us about two rules. One is the link purpose and another one is the unusual words, idioms that we have used. Now first let us look at the unusual words that are present in the website. Like in this, if you really want to see what is the result, just select it and see the results. So when I click on the result, it is stating what is the difficult word or a phrase which is present in the website. For example, staying ahead of the curve. It says that maintaining a position of the progress in a competitive. So the meaning, if it is present in the website or not, it is telling us it is not defined. On the ball, it is also not defined, whereas dog word, that is defined, and which means this. So this is another example. We have sent the data along in the website. What are the difficult words? Those are being written from the AI model. And I'm very, very happy this works because I know whenever we are reading any content through the website, sometimes it happens that we do not understand what is present in it. If it is a secondary language for you, or if it is a very different context when you're reading. So these kind of things will help auditor to make it more simplified for the user who are going to use your website. There are some more. This is Chinese, or I don't know the language, sorry about that. And here they're trying to analyze everything which is present in different languages.
Yeah, and one of the other things I wanted to mention is, so right now we're focused on using AI to find accessibility issues, and we chose to use the word issue instead of violation because, we want to make this, sort of kind of, we don't want to turn users off in terms of thinking, oh, I've got all these problems, I did all this wrong, mental health kind of things and, appreciative inquiry type of approach. We call these issues, but also we want, and that's just a little side step there. But what I really wanted to say is that right now we're using AI for the issues part of it, but we are actually going to be implementing an AI kind of sort of suggestion button as well, right? So you find these issues, you go to remediate the code, but you're like, how many ways can I do this? How many ways can I make this better or fix this? I know we can offer some examples. Can AI offer me other examples, right? So we're going to be implementing an AI button to get more examples on how this issue could possibly be fixed in different ways, maybe more innovative or disruptive ways, who knows, right? But that's going to be another component we are implementing.
Yes, there can be multiple permutation combination with the results that AI will be providing us after finding issues on the website. So let's see how we can integrate all these things. We have tried with couple of things to get the answer from AI. Sometimes it is failing, sometimes it is passing, but detection part is pretty much to the point. It is not missing on anything. So let us move. We have one more example where whenever we have some links on the website, those links are making sense to the user or not. That is being tested in this example. This is third rule which we have implemented here.
Yes. And while auditor is thinking, oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. That's. Here.
So in the link, we have two links. In the example, we have two links, which one link makes sense and another link doesn't make sense. So it has detected click here as the link which is not making sense. Whereas in the results, but here we have to improve more, where we will try to give more context to the AI model and get the correct answer to the link. That is what we are thinking, but it is not yet implemented. But yes, this is how we have detected the links which does not make sense, or the text is not giving any meaningful display on the screen.
Can you go back to the other slide? Show it.
You want me to try?
It should show us the one that it found. Click like your code on the results. Yeah.
On the results, okay. For the unusual words, for the link purpose only?
Link that we just did.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, there we are. So in our tool, this is how this is going to work, right? So right here it says, href A, click here. So you've got the line of the code right then and there. This is, this link is ambiguous. You need to fix it or whatever. All you will need to do when utilizing this tool is change the click here, delete, just backspace, delete, click here, give the proper name, test it again. It passes. Log that corrected issue and export it to your GitHub or whatever issue tracker you use to plug back into your site, right? That's how simple and easy this is going to be once we launch the beta version. So I'm really, really proud of how we've thought everything through with this tool. And well, maybe not everything. I'm sure people will come up with some things that we could do better or that we had forgotten. But I think we've gotten a pretty thorough, job done with what we've created. Is there anything more that we wanted to talk about this?
Not about the demo part, but yes, definitely. As you mentioned at the starting of the presentation, that we are also analyzing the screen recordings. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to record the session by taking permission from the user and trying to analyze how the website is being displayed to the user, how the audio files are being displayed, how the video files are being displayed. For the video, transcript is added or not, closed captions are working or not. And on the when you record the screen, you also have a visual representation of the data. So visually, if everything is making sense, if it is not too much cluttered, so all these rules which we think that they can be implemented or tested by manual intervention only, we are trying to analyze that data with the help of AI, and let's see how it goes ahead, because we have just started analyzing this data. We have not yet mapped this data with any of the rules to understand or to show it to you. Once it is done, we will be able to. We have also tried to simulate a lot of actions from the keyboard and from the mouse and try to integrate everything to create simulate users action on the screen. So let's see how it goes.
I think Nay is a little bit too humble. She says we tried, we were trying to do these things, but I think we've pretty much done it. We haven't plugged it into our back and front end just yet, but right? Am I right? We've done a lot of these and we tested it, done proof of concept that they work, is that correct? No, yeah, that's a good question. Yes, no.
Sorry, David, your voice is breaking somewhat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I was saying, you say that we were trying to do these things, but if I remember correctly, we actually tested the proof of concept for these tests and they work, correct? We're just implementing it.
Yes, they are working, but as I said, we have not written the rule for a particular rule. We have not implemented as per the rule. Analyzing is done. We can understand from the data if it is if the transcript is generated or not, or when you record the screen, is the information present on the screen is too much, is the navigation bar correctly located, if we have landmarks present on the screen. All this analysis is done, but implementation part as per the rules, where we can show you the success criteria listed as we have as I showed for other rules, that is not being done.
That seems like the easy part, but hey, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, so it looks like in our proposal, we meant for this session, we mentioned, we got our implementations of abbreviations, idioms, and phrases, text from images, localization, which we talked about quite a bit, I think is really cool. Analyzing links, and we're talking about future implementations right now, reporting analysis. Have we covered all of the future implementations yet, Nate, or are there others that we should talk about?
No, all the future implementation is covered.
Okay, so this is what we've done, what we've spent the last 2 years working on with my wonderful team that has been leading under the tutelage of our Chief Technology Officer, Dr. Volker. We are incredibly excited and proud of this work. Manshi Garg, our senior developer, is on the call, so he's been doing a lot with our team. This wasn't an easy task or an easy lift. There are a lot of kind of sort of gaps in enterprise offerings with the AI providers. And if anybody is involved in OpenAI or Google Gemini or any other kind of sort of artificial intelligence, company, please do think about these things. Think about how to make your APIs, scalable for organizations that want to make SaaS products and change the world, help the world, right? Right now, that kind of sort of thought process hasn't happened, and it handcuffs us a little bit on what we can do and what other people can do as well. And what I would really love to do is we would love to hear from the audience, questions, thoughts, comments, concerns. Anybody got anything for us? I'm not doing a good job following IRC, but let me take a quick look here. Quick.
Yes, we have Q.
Do we have a queue? Okay, so I think I see Ben and Charles. So Ben, you were first, please. I think you might need to check that mic. Some people said some of the mics went low.
Can you hear me on the call?
No, it's
Wonderful. Cool. So yeah, I've got three questions. Firstly, just a workout question about the links in context. So you pulled out a link there that said click here. And I guess there are non-AI powered tools that can just find click here or here links for the AAA links like without context success criterion. So for this implementation, do you then use AI to look at the sentence or paragraph around the link and the headings around it and the section names to determine whether there is enough context to determine what the purpose of that link is? Is that the benefit of Ottitor in this situation?
Yes, exactly. That is what we are trying to do. It's just not detecting the link which is having a very general name, but also what a meaningful name you can give depending on the surrounding text that we have also passed along with that line. So that will help auditor to give a meaningful display to that link. That is the idea.
My second question was about hallucinations. So how are you protecting? So one of the big problems with AI and LLMs is that they sometimes confidently give the incorrect answer. So how are you protecting users of Ottitor from hallucination?
So you're saying people might think that they're actually dealing with something that, like a Terminator robot or something like that kind of hallucination because it's using AI? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So how are you making sure that the suggestions that Auditor uses AI to give the solutions for, how are you making sure that they are accurate and correct?
So in terms of preventing people from misconstruing what they're interacting with, is it a human, is it a robot, is it technology, whatever? I mean, it's clear to not everyone has access to the AI feature. Okay, so that's going to be, so we're getting into business stuff here, but so we're going to have a free version and then a version where you get to the AI component that then added into it, right? You can also run multiple types of audits. You have to select the AI type audit in order to get those kinds of results. So when you're selecting an AI audit, you are acknowledging that I'm interacting with artificial intelligence, right? So that should be pretty clear there. Now, in terms of the other component, I'm going to leave that to Nate because I'm not sure if how that works.
And to add to that, David, that is why we are not we cannot directly go and change the link test. It is just the suggestion from the AI model which we are using that this can be used instead of click here or learn more or any of the text. That is the possible solution that we are providing. We are not going to change it directly for the auditor. So that will be the call of the auditor to replace it or not to replace it.
Yeah, the human has to go in there and make those changes in the fix me screen. It says, here's the code, remediate it inline, and then test it again. If it passes, please log it and export it to your issue tracker, those kinds of things, right? So, yeah, and everything's clearly stated, possible solutions, examples, issue details, all those kinds of things. We tried to make it cognitively accessible. That was one of my passions. That you don't know me, but most of you do know that's what I do.
And my final question was about sustainability and cost. So if you have, let's say, 10 clients using Auditor, and they submit very similar requests to an LLM through Auditor, that's going to use a lot of power and a lot of cost to answer what might be the same question using AI multiple times. Do you have plans to store the results of what you're getting back from AI and use that as some sort of like offline library of fixes that doesn't have to always go back to the LLM for an answer? Okay.
I don't know.
Yes, definitely. Because here, if the similar kind of data is being sent by multiple users, first thing that we will be checking will be the website address that they are using. If the website address is similar, some kind of caching should be will be implemented just to check if the data is not being repeated. This question had already popped in our mind that what if we are sending same data again and again. This will increase our computation cost, that will increase the costing for the LLM model as well, and we have already started developing in that area how we can scale and try to avoid the repetition or redundancy of the data that we will be providing to AI models.
Do you see why I'm so damn proud of this team? They think of everything. You know, and that's not something I would have thought of, but yeah, that will save time, that will save energy. You know, for any business, it's not, it's probably not a good idea to rely on third parties, for integral parts or products or for your tools or for your business model, right? So it would be ideal if we had our own LLM that could do all of this instead, right? So, but in any ways that we can make shortcuts or reduce loads, I guess we should be implementing that. And those are things that we're actively looking at in terms of pricing and stuff like that. So we talked about calls and tokens earlier, right? So for every plan for AI providers and stuff like this, they give you a certain number of tokens, a certain number of calls per hour, or everybody has their own kind of sort of formula for this. So for one provider, what we have been thinking of doing is you get an enterprise plan with X amount of tokens, assigned to you. And there are things called tokenizers, and the tokenizers will, you can plug in a URL or this is what I want to test. How many tokens will it take? Well, it doesn't tell you, exactly how they come up with the number, but it'll give you an estimate on how many tokens you're going to use for doing this call, for doing this task. So you'll know ahead of time how many of my allotted tokens will I be eating up for this test. If you're eating up all your tokens and you want to do more and more and more, we're thinking of having an AI bank, a bank where you can purchase more tokens to continue doing more tests. That's if we use this specific provider. We're looking at other providers as well that give us reliable results that don't have that sort of limitation in the theory. And so we don't have to put that cost on the user. So, the whole pricing scheme, this is very new. I wouldn't call it bleeding edge, this is cutting edge. This is very new. And these are things we're working on in our alpha release right now. When beta is ready in, November, we will have it worked out and we will be, informing everybody of what we come up with. But yeah, we want to make it sustainable. We want to get it into the hands of everybody. We were just in India, a week ago now, and Volker were part of the international delegation to Zero project and showcasing this tool to their colleagues and organizations there. I mean, like I said, we created it localized in India as well, the biggest, tech outsourcing nation in the world pretty much. We want people in India to be able to use this. If it costs $100 a month per person, that won't be sustainable. Yeah, so did we get you a minute? Are you good?
Yeah, okay.
Awesome, thank you. And anybody wants to talk with us offline after this, we're really happy to chat, or be around for the next day or so. Charles, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So a couple of questions. One, you're mentioning that you could basically remediate real time. I could see that happening if your source files are on your local machine, but if your source files are on a WordPress website or that are generated JavaScript, etc., I don't see how that's going to be possible, and I'm just wondering how that works.
You are absolutely right, and don't worry, you didn't kill my dream, my CTA did. So that is what I want, that's what I asked them to do. I said, this is what I want to do, and exactly what you described is what I asked, and they said, Dana, we can't do that. So we did the next best thing, right? You can't plug it into your pipeline, your CI pipeline, or whatever. You cannot do it from the extension, no, but what you can do is you can check it in real time. And once it passes, you log it into your GitHub from GitHub or whatever system you use, that you can use to pour it into your code, right? Yeah, so our tool doesn't directly, plug into it. I wanted it to, absolutely could. But and maybe we can in the future, I don't know, but that would be the ideal situation for my vision, for our vision, is to be able to do that.
And then follow up, I'm wondering, is it in the roadmap to start looking at the content to determine if it's done semantically correct, as far as that looks like a heading or that's a list? And is it hard coded or is it using native HTML elements with proper roles and the like? So I was just wondering where it's at on the roadmap.
And that's for you, man.
Yes. So, as as you were mentioning that heading and list and everything can be detected. Yes, that is one of the reason we are recording the screen. So visually, how the content is represented, and that content is being displayed as per the semantic information, or this is just the styling that is given to the heading or the list or anything that we are detecting. So that is the reason we have started analyzing the recorded screen and understanding how the content is being displayed on the screen, and if it is similar to the structure that is already, or the DOM element which is present inside the source code.
How do you feel about that answer?
It's fine, thanks.
Great. And so like I said, we're hoping to have the beta release again in November, by November. For those of you familiar with the M Enabling Conference hosted by G3ICT and the International Association of Accessibility Professionals, we will be there October 14th through 17th. We will have it live for people to play with, to demo it in our exhibition booth. And if anybody wants to come by and check it out, we're more than happy to give you a live demo and put your hands on it and see what you think. Before we go, and we've got another 7 minutes, please throw the questions at us, comments, concerns, anything. Anybody have anything? It's the queue, nobody in queue. And before we go, I do want to say again, I really commend this team. They have made the impossible possible, and this is a really sort of exciting next evolutionary step in accessibility testing, and not just testing, but accessibility testing, but in the world of different tools and AI and what it can do, and the problems it can solve and the goals that it can achieve. So please give this team a hand or a round of applause or something. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Děti Paul, děti Shimon, professor and Jean-Bob, and Ovid Flomar, who's no longer with us, so he could be talking Amazon, but he's a good integral part of this. That's okay. We're happy for him. Does anybody have any closing questions? Or anything else?
Have a cue, David.
Oh, okay, please.
Yes, Chris.
Oh, hi. Yeah, just a quick question about, I guess, the back-end process and the way you talk to the LLM, because from my understanding, you're using a existing LLM. There's no fine-tuning of the model. All the data you get back from the LLM is by prompt engineering. Can you talk a little bit more about that process?
Okay. So, as you have already mentioned that we are using existing LLM models, and we are not just using one, we are trying with two big LLM models, that is ChatGPT and Gemini. And not only prompt engineering, but along with prompt engineering, we also have to provide the correct data along with the rule. Like, for example, if you are passing a link, which text surrounding the link that we have to pass, what kind of other information we have to ask, all these things we are checking in that process.
Submission is open. So. Okay, well, I hope that answered that question. Do we have anyone else in the queue? We got 4 minutes. Please use our time. We are happy to talk about this as much as you want us to. Let's see. Nobody in the queue. Again, 4 minutes earlier. Does anybody have any last minute, anything in the room? No?
It's lunchtime, David.
No, I think we had a pretty fruitful presentation. I think we covered a lot. Again, I'm amazed at what we've been able to do in the last 2 years. 2 years? No, you're not 2 years ago. We made amazing progress. We still got more to do, and we're looking forward to the beta launch probably in November. So thank you everybody for your time and for paying attention, and we're happy to answer any questions offline as well. You can put my email in the chat, and if you're on IRC, you can put yours in the chat as well, please. So I am dfazio@helixopp, HELIXOPP.com. Please reach out. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, team.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great conference ahead.
It's